the 10 mistakes about money that people will make in 2019. Let's get those credits rolling. The number one mistake that people make when it comes to money is not having a plan for it. The good book says that a fool and his money are soon parted. And the reason for this is if you do not plan for money, money always finds a use or a way to get used. So one of the things that you should always do when you're starting a year is to sit down and project what you're going to make for the year. If you're employed, then that means that the salary that you get every single month ideally is going to be consistent. That's where you actually need to sit down and plan, this is how I'm going to spend my money and these are the ways I'm going to use this particular money. If you do not do that, then you're setting yourself up for failure, because when money comes in, you feel like there's this flood of finances that has come in, yet you forget that there are monthly expenses that you always need to look at. So the thing that you need to do is sit down and write down your income, write down your expenses, write down how much you're going to spend on every single thing, looking at the past month and looking at the way you have been structuring your own things. I will do another video specifically about how to budget, and that will be in a later video. For one of the mistakes that people make is that they never set financial goal, they never set their financial plan, and thus if they fail to plan for it, they will never ever attain their financial success. So the power tip here is to make sure that every single year when you begin the year, that you set, this is the goal that I want to get to. And the goal is not, I want to make more money. And the goal is not, I want to make a little extra. No, it's a particular figure that you set that you're going to make, and that will help you on the way. Number two is focusing on a lifestyle instead of focusing on financial security. Many people want to be seen that they have this particular thing, that they have this, that they own this, that they have this, that they bought this, just because someone else bought it. That is a mistake, since you have no idea the sources of finance that that other person has, or the reason why they did what they did. If you start measuring yourself by what other people are doing or by what pace other people are going, you will never get to set your own priorities. So the thing you need to make sure is that you close out every other single person. Remember, you're not competing with anyone else. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on the things that you want to achieve, and then go ahead and do them. Mistake number three is not having a budget. A little ties down to the first point, but this is what I want to say about a budget. A budget tells you and explains to you the uses or the intended uses of the money, the intended sources of the money. If you find that the things you want to do are so many and your income cannot sustain, then you probably need a side hustle. And there's a video I have done about balancing a side hustle or starting a side hustle, and I'll link it up here. I will also do a video on how you can be able to start a side hustle successfully, because there are so many people who are in employment and they feel that the money that they have is not enough to sustain the lifestyle they would like to have, so they like to start a side hustle. So I'll do a video on that as well. Number four is over borrowing. These days, with the so many avenues to borrow and get financing, people fall into the danger of borrowing. This happens especially due to having mobile loans, because there are so many that are there these days. If you just go on Google Play Store and you search for loan apps, you'll find a whole myriad of them. There are even others which are scams, which want to take your money. They're not there to actually give you money. But my point is this: if you do not plan for what you're going to do, you will end up not doing anything constructive with the money that you get for financing. I would advise that any single time you want any type of financing, make sure that you know exactly how you're going to use that money. And once you get that financing, go and use it for that given thing that you had planned to do. Because the danger is that many times we borrow for consumption. That means that you borrow and then you go and drink out with your friends, or you borrow and then you go out, or you go for a holiday. These are good things, yes, but if you want to do those things, then you should actually have saved for them. They should have shown up in your budget. January is not the time to get into debt. It's a time to start working towards financial security. Number 5 is not having enough emergency savings. You never know, anything can happen in your family. Your child can wake up sick, you might get sick, your car might have a problem, you might have an issue with whatever you're doing in business, you could get laid off. You need an emergency savings account. This is an account that where you will never have connected it to mobile banking or even have an ATM. It's an account where you put in your money just for a rainy day. Advisedly, you should have about 3 to 6 months of your monthly income in an emergency account, so that if anything happens, and of course we are praying that nothing bad happens, but you will have somewhere where you can be able to depend on. You can have somewhere where you can be able to bootstrap as you're looking to start either a business or look for a new job if the one that you have does not exist anymore. Number 6 is guaranteeing other people loans and you don't know the consequences. Now, the way SACCOs work is that whenever they want to give you a loan, they usually ask you to get guarantors. And when you get a guarantor, they are actually saying that if you don't pay, they will pay. You shouldn't become a guarantor to everyone. There are so many cases of people who have stopped paying their loans, and then the SACCO, instead of following up with the borrower, they start following up with the guarantor, which is you. So they pick your savings, they start keeping that particular loan on you. Imagine if you were just about to finish your loan and then you're told that person X has not paid their loan, so we are coming for your savings. It makes no financial sense for you to guarantee other people if you completely are not ready to pay off their loans. Whenever you guarantee someone, in essence, you are saying that you are going to pay their loan if they are unable to pay. Remember right now that if someone defaults on their loan and you are their guarantor, it will also go on your CRB profile. So you need to really watch and really check if the people that you're guaranteeing and if the people that you're allowing to borrow using your name are actually credible people. Secondly, you need to know exactly where to find them if there's ever a problem with payments. Number 7 is not saving for retirement. Every single day, every single year, you see the way you have come into the new year, you're getting a little older. So what you need to check is you are saving for retirement. If you are employed, then go to your employer and tell your employer to pick a portion of your salary and direct it to retirement. Ideally, you should be able to do 5% or even more if your salary actually allows. The more you save for your retirement, the better for you. This is because many employers actually match whatever you are saving and they do the same. So for instance, if your employer is already contributing 5% to your retirement and you decide to do 5%, for many, it will mean that your employer will actually match what you're doing. So in a month, 15% of your salary is already going to your retirement. And as you get older, as you get promoted, as your income increases, you should look at increasing the percentage of your salary that you're saving towards your retirement. As you get older, your employer will be contributing a little more as you get to your retirement age, so that by the time you are retiring, you will not need to ask your children for anything. You'll not need to depend on your children for anything. You always have a good pension that is coming in. You can always save for yourself. Number 8 is not having health insurance. There are those who are employed, and some of them already have medical insurance from the employer. You may have an insurance cover for different things, for your car, for all these other things, but then you do not have a medical cover. It is important as you start 2018 to get a medical cover. Go to your local insurance agent or to your local bank and ask if you can see whatever they offer as medical cover. There are so many companies which are offering it at very low rates. So check with your company so that you know that you can always relax if your children are sick. You don't have to get that money out of your pocket in the middle of January when there is no money. You will always get a way to just sort your bills out and go home. Then if need be, you will get a good premium which you're paying every month. You are sorted out for the whole year. Number 9 is not getting life insurance. This life is short. Of course, as we have gotten into 2019, we do expect, we do pray, we do hope that we'll get to the end of 2019. But a life insurance is important for you, especially if you have children. You do not want a case where that time that you're not there, your children are suffering because they have no income of their own. They have no idea how they're going to get a good education. I'll probably do a video about life insurance and examples of companies that you can get life insurance from. I am not an insurance expert, so I'll tell you a little about what I have seen and the brochures I have read, and maybe if possible we'll probably get an insurance expert to speak to you about what to do with insurance. But a life insurance is important because you want at least to leave your family at the same state, at the same standard that they were in while you were still alive, and something to provide for them as they keep growing older. Life insurance is not about you dying. It's about protecting yourself because you don't know what tomorrow holds. And finally, number 10 is not having a will. And it closely ties to what is in number 9 about life insurance. But a will is important because if you're not there, you don't want your family fighting over the things that you have. There are so many cases of especially rich people who are dying, and then the family now gets into a frenzy of who owns this, who should get this, who is supposed to own this, and there are court cases and a lot of bad blood. And yet when your father or your mother was alive, you were actually living okay. So having a will is good because you get to divide your wealth while you're still alive, and you say, my spouse should get this percentage, my children should get this. If you have relatives as well, your parents or your siblings or whoever it is you want to put on your will, they also have a portion, and it's already set and given to a lawyer that you trust, who will also act as the administrator of your estate if you're not there. So as you're starting 2019, I'd advise that you look at all these money mistakes that people will most likely make in 2019 and don't make them. See you in the next video. Make sure to like, share, subscribe to this channel, and if you have a comment, place it in the comments below. Follow me on all other social media pages that I have. I'll place links in the description below. Have an awesome day.